Just when we were starting to soak in the learnings from Enterprise Innovation Summit 2020, we are here. This is Enterprise Innovation Summit 2021. Well, time flies, and along with it, brings in learnings and experiences that are critical for us to share and help each other grow as a community. This year, EIS 2021 is bigger. We have over 15 hours of insightful content that will help you transform your paradigm with over 30 Indian and international thought leaders who have graciously accepted to join us. And we really want to make this event one that you can use to action your next big idea. And so we've designed our sessions around the themes of change, innovation, and security. So today on day one, we will deep dive and interact with leaders who will help us on our planning of our infrastructure innovation. Now, through the day, we have some great giveaways on Twitter, and you can tweet with the hashtag EIS2021 to win prizes on the hour. But now, let's get the ball rolling, and I'll pass the virtual mic to Rahul Neel, the editor at DynamicCIO. Now, Rahul is an industry veteran who has devoted the past decade to build CIO communities across industries and geographies. Rahul, good to see you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashwin. Good afternoon and welcome to this inaugural day of Enterprise Innovation Summit 2021. This 3-day summit is crafted specially for you after putting in a lot of efforts. We have got an exceptionally strong speaker lineup from across the world who will share wisdom and knowledge and interact with you. I'm also extremely thankful for our sponsors, Yora Infrastructure, which is the presenting partner, Commvault, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, along with Unique Solutions, Infoblocks, Tata Communications, Veeam Software, Versec, Uptime Institute, and Zoom, which are all gold partners for their unequivocal support to make this summit possible. Now, I'd like to make a special mention here of my friend Sarbjeet Johal, based in the Bay Area, who has worked alongside to get some of the really marquee international speakers for each of these 3 days. This is the second year in a row that we are deprived of meeting face to face. Beyond a point, believe me, virtual meetings don't cut the ice. I'm missing those handshakes, those short conversations over coffee or food. I'm sure you all are missing them too. I'm eager to get onto the ground as soon as we can, but until then, I can just wish you and your families a good health and a safe future. I won't hold you from the excitement much. However, would like to spend the next 5 to 7 minutes to just give a perspective on how things have dramatically changed and how the technology infrastructure also has to cope up with those changes. Friends, let's brace some hard facts first. The global economy, which tanked very, very badly, is projected to grow at 6% in 2021. However, it will only grow at 4.9% in 2022. And these are not my figures, these are IMF figures. The 2021 global forecast is unchanged from the April 2021 World Economic Outlook, but with a few offsetting revisions. Prospects for emerging market and developing economies have been marked down for this year, for 2021, especially for emerging Asia. All of this has also impacted the expenditure on consumption, including the consumption on technology. While there is a good news of technology spending not being in negative, there are hard stops on non-essentials. Rather, the technology expenditure is now very tightly aligned with business outcomes and business goals only. Boards, CEOs, and management are equally concerned that technology shall enable customer retention, it shall enable customer service, enable supply chains, give you data agility, and also data security. Now, having said that, there's an upside to look at, of course. What's that upside? So almost the entire world leapfrogged digital transformation, including those who were very reluctant or were sitting on the fence. We finally realized the value of automation. We finally realized the value of digital twins, digital platforms, and digital money. So if you see the slide here, if you see the slide, this is a slide which I borrowed from a recent Gartner presentation, which talks about the entire journey of industrial and digital revolutions. So did you notice something different in this slide? Let me tell you what's different here. We have already entered into a new phase of revolution. It has creeped in very silently. This is called the hybrid revolution. Was it untimely? Maybe. But the pandemic forced us to do the biggest experiment in the history of work. And these 15 to 18 months have been very decisive to make something that's called hybrid revolution. You know, from what we know as invention, era of manual labor transcended into invention of electricity. That's where a lot of changes started taking place. Then we had machines. Industrial revolution took place. Then there was an invention of internet. Internet took place. Then we entered into the era of digital revolution. And guess what? Silently, we entered into another revolution called hybrid revolution. But there's a big but here, and I'll explain to you why. This shift forced us to make a lot of quick adjustments, and those may not be permanent in nature, may not be well thought through as well, because we were just grappling with situations and we were trying to create some quick fix solutions to those situations. And therefore, we need to move away from this quick fix mentality to a more enduring thinking of overhauling of infrastructure, overhauling of our approach. So look at this second slide. This is the final slide from my side. I'll explain to you. The first point there is anywhere, anytime, any device infrastructure. So by the end of 2023, it's projected that more than 90% of infrastructure and operations organizations, I&O, will have the majority of their staff working remotely. So where all do we need to make those adjustments? The traditional processes of I&O are now going to be obsolete in the face of the disruption that we have faced. The traditional ways are not going to work well. So we need to determine where the remote working makes sense, and also make sure that these folks are enabled to dynamically switch between offsite and onsite, offsite and onsite. Point number two. So point number two emphasizes on the fact that infrastructure need to be optimally used. It needs to be optimized. So this mandates that the new shift converts infrastructure and operations into integration and operations. So infrastructure word is now getting replaced by integration. What does it mean? Various infrastructure choices that we have, that we can make from, like cloud, like edge, or any other new technology that may come into play, needs to be very carefully, very thought through for different locations and different workloads. Let's move on to the point number three. We need to look at making our cloud infrastructure distributed. So what does it mean? This means that decentralization, we need to look at decentralizing our cloud resources. It makes sense. It allows us flexibility. It reduces latency. It also shifts the burden of support on the cloud service provider. Now you're freeing yourself from that burden. Point number four, we have to shun this mentality of capital expenditure, and only having capital expenditure. We need to, a lot of you are already in that mode of OPEX, especially the digital natives, the born in the cloud companies are embracing this like nobody's business. For the legacy company, what does it mean? It's very simple. Every technology OEM, every service company is now offering everything as a service. So that means we have to embrace the service model. Except for those critical core infrastructure components, you can really hard negotiate the rest and let the service providers manage it. I'm telling you, it could be very, very beneficial. Be it data center co-location, be it asking for supply chain services, asking for CRM, asking for any service that you think of should be consumed in a service model. Last point, um, create an automation superhighway. Now, friends, we just saw what are the cons of not automating. Do we want more lessons? I'm sure no. So that's another area to look at very, very seriously. Automation, automate all that can be and that should be. Um, I mean, all the non-core functions, mundane functions in which a lot of manual labor goes should be automated. The technology is now pretty mature, and with the help of AI and machine learning, it's actually evolving even more. It's becoming more intuitive day by day. So experiment with that. That's all that I have to share with you. I just wanted to make a very strong suggestion that for overhauling, you don't need to throw what you already have. It's just a recalibration of certain areas and some adjustments, of course, with some new shopping, some new technology shopping. Uh, all right. So back to the summit. I'm sure that the speakers that you will hear today will give you a lot of roti. So when I say roti, ROTI, yeah, that I mean the return on your time invested with us. So thank you once again for joining us here. I hope you will have a wonderful summit over these next 3 days. Thank you very much. And over to you, Ashwin.